The maid turned abruptly from the mirror. Her feet and sneakers moved across the floor toward the electric outlet. If she disconnected the vacuum cleaner, there would be no experiment. If Ralph was going to pit one motor against the other, he had to do it now. He would never have another chance. But. Ralph picked up his tail and started the motor. Without taking time to let it warm up, he gunned it with all his breath he could inhale. The motorcycle got off to a fast start than Ralph expected, so fast that Ralph lost control. He shot out from under the bed, just as the vacuum cleaner died with a long, drawn-out groan. Suddenly, everything went white, and Ralph found himself bumping along in a strange, ghostly place, all white and made of cloth that seemed to be closing in on him. From every direction, Ralph had ridden straight into a pillowcase thrown on the heap of laundry the maid had dropped on the floor, and the opening of the pillowcase had fallen shut behind him. Ralph had no idea which way was out. He dismounted from the motorcycle and beat at the cloth with his fists, but everywhere he struck it was soft and yielding. He stamped his feet, only to have the cloth give softly and silently beneath him. He began to wade through the pillowcase, trudging the motorcycle along with him, while he wondered why he had thought it was so important to test the motorcycle against the vacuum cleaner. The light filtered through the unknown layers of cloth. It was dim, and he sank to his knees in bed linen with every step. When he came to a seam, he knew he had been wading in the wrong direction. "Drat," muttered Ralph. He turned, still dragging the motorcycle, and tried to retrace his footsteps, only to find he had no idea which way he had come from. There were no landmarks. The clouds of cloth were white, billowy, and yielding in all directions. "Double drat!" He stamped his foot, only to find himself sinking deeper into the linen. From the swishing sounds he could hear outside, Ralph knew that the maid must be unfolding clean sheets over the bed. He plodded on, dragging the motorcycle without direction and with very little hope. "He promised to buy me a bunch of blue ribbons," sang the maid, "to tie at my bonnet of brown hair." Down the hall a door opened. Ralph heard a muffled "Hoot!" and in a moment the flick of a small dog's toenails on the bare floor at the edge of the hall carpet, followed by sniffing that was dangerously close. The little terrier began to bark. "I know you're in there," he yipped. "Stick out your tongue and waggle your fingers at me, will you? Just you wait." Paws began to scrape at the sheets and the pillowcases as if the dog were trying to dig a hole. Ralph decided it was nicer not to bark back to the dog. He huddled, scarcely breathing, against the motorcycle. "Well, hello, you cute little thing," said the maid, revealing to Ralph that she was even sillier than he had thought. As if there was anything cute about a terrier that could scarcely see through his own hair. The dog went on yapping, a bit self-consciously. Ralph thought now that he knew he was being admired by the maid. A man's steps came thumping down the hall. "Stop your racket, you pesky mutt," said the owner's voice, and Ralph knew the bark suddenly came from above him, that the dog had been snatched up. "Let me down, and I'll dig him out," yapped the dog as he was carried away. "Just let me down for 1 minute, and I'll show you." Suddenly, Ralph felt himself being tumbled about in the pillowcase. He did not even have to think about what to do. He automatically grabbed for the motorcycle and held on with all his strength. Even though he had been tipped upside down with his feet in the air, Ralph knew he was being lifted up inside the bundle of bed linen and carried down the hall. He lay still, his front paws locked around the front wheel of the motorcycle, waiting to see what would happen next. The maid walked a short distance to what Ralph judged to be the linen room, and there she dumped her armload of bedding before she went off to clean another room. Ralph was deep in the hamper, where no light filtered through at all. These sheets and pillowcases were on their way to the laundry, and since he had no wish to be laundered, any more than he had wished to be thrown into the trash, there was only one thing for him to do: start chewing. Ralph ripped into the pillowcase with his sharp teeth, and in no time he had made a ragged hole, which he crawled through. When he tried to pull the motorcycle after him, he discovered the hole was too small. He had to stop and chew it bigger before he could pull the machine along with him. Ralph chewed through another layer of cloth, and then another, as he worked his way upward, each time enlarging the hole for the motorcycle. His jaws began to ache, and still another layer of cloth lay ahead, this time a damp bath towel, which would make slow chewing. Ralph was forced to make a decision. Did he want to save his life, or did he want to be carried off to the laundry with the motorcycle? There was only one answer. He wanted to save his life. He must abandon the motorcycle. With aching jaws, Ralph chewed onward and upward, moving faster now that he was making mouse-sized holes instead of motorcycle-sized holes. The bath towel had left an unpleasant furry taste in his mouth. Gradually, light began to filter through the cloth until finally, when Ralph thought he could no longer force his jaws to close on one more mouthful of fiber, he emerged into daylight at the top of the hamper. "Whew!" Ralph gasped. Rubbing his aching jaws and wading across the sheets to the edge of the hamper, he leaped lightly to the floor and, hugging the baseboard, scurried down the hall to room 215, where he flattened himself and squeezed under the door, safe but exhausted and filled with remorse at the loss of Keith's motorcycle. Ralph dragged himself off to the mouse hole to catch up on the sleep he should have had that day.